How are we all today? It's just CP back here to do another review. For today, I'm bringing you Kilo Labs Hybrid. This is not a product that I was intentionally trying to really buy. I didn't really know too much about the company. I more so knew about their pump product. I think it's called Kilo Labs Key Pump or something along those lines. Nonetheless, the reason that I ended up getting it is here in Western Australia, I found a really good supplement place. The bloke who owns it is a fucking legend, like just a great guy. And he was telling me, man, everyone's giving rave reviews about Hybrid. So I was nearby, stopped by, got it, just figured, fuck it, might as well. I'll go through taste first. When I bought it, he was nice enough to give me, I believe it's a lemon drop flavor. There's a bunch of different flavors, like a fair few, but he gave me a lemon one, and then I bought the Royal Pineness, it's called. I'm guessing mango pineapple would be my guess. I will have to say, for a Stim Junkie pre-workout, at least that's what it's meant to be categorically, it is the nicest smelling like pre-workouts you could ever smell. Like you open this and it genuinely, like it just smells like pineapple candy. It's really good. So first one I tried was a lemon drop, and it was fantastic. If I rated it, which I don't typically do, out of 10, I would give it like a 9.5 and a solid 9.5. It's rare that I give a 10, but you know, it's like as good as it'll get compared to any other Stim Junkie pre-workout. The pineapple one, like if I had to rate this, honestly, this is like a 9.75. I'm not a big fake pineapple guy. Love pineapples, love pineapple juice, love just pineapple in general. But typically I hate pineapple flavored things. It, to me, just tastes off. It's not very genuine to the actual fruit. This is literally like a pineapple juice. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just so damn nice. If you're from Australia or from New Zealand, you would know that like New Zealand people have I can't remember the name of it, but a pineapple candy, I believe it is. Literally tastes like that, but melted into this water. And it's, yeah, just really, really good. I know a lot of people say you don't really need a good tasting pre-workout. You don't need a good tasting pre-workout. You don't need a Stim Junkie pre-workout, but it doesn't hurt when you have one that actually tastes really good. When you look forward to having it, it's quite a good feeling, as opposed to having one which you have to chug down and drink another 400 milligrams of water or mix it with BCAAs or something because it tastes that fucking awful. And we've all had that before, especially if you've had these like, you know, fucking expensive Stim Junkie, hard to flavor ones. All right, flavor out the way, incredible flavor. Let's look at the supplement list. Sorry, the ingredients list. We've got one of my favorite combinations, which is Stim, the euphoric Stim type of stuff, and then pump ingredients. Let's start off first with the pump ingredients. You got citrulline malate at 4 grams. I think that's more than enough. People argue you need, 4 grams minimum of citrulline and then malic acid combined. I don't think you do. I'll tell you why in a little bit. Then you got beta-alanine at 3.2, which is just a standard, clinical dosage, as they say. You got betaine at 3 grams, which I love because I'm a big fan of betaine. I tend to find products that have higher betaine are the ones that I tend to go to more often. And you got hydroprime at 2 grams, which another one I love. It just works for me. If it doesn't work for you, no dramas, works for me typically. I can get a nice and juicy pump from hydroprime. Let's go to the explosive Stim matrix, as I like to call it. You got caffeine hydrous at 400 milligrams, which is, I would say, your standard now Stim Junkie kind of level of caffeine and hydrous. It's quite high, but it's not the highest you'll see. You got 2-amino, aka DMHA, at 200 milligrams. I mean, it's just, to me, it's one of my favorite ever ingredients. I know it's frowned upon, it's this and that, but to me, I've never had any negatives from it. I actually much prefer DMHA over DMAA. I've taken a bunch of DMAA back in the day, and to me, that actually just gets me too wired, too weird feeling. Theobromine at 150 milligrams, love theobromine. And then N-phenyl dimethylene. It's a very standard package. I don't mean easy to put together, but I mean, it's a standard, I would say maybe like 2-ish years ago type of pre-workout that you would see. And I actually really love this label. They're not trying to be too complicated. It doesn't have 15 different ingredients lists, but then doesn't really hit. It's a very simple panel with really good ingredients with good dosages. Nothing's over the top, nothing's under. Some will argue the citrulline, but to me, taking citrulline just by itself doesn't give me personally any crazy pumps. When I mix citrulline with things like beta-alanine, even though it's not necessarily a pump formula, maybe that's just a bit of a placebo for me, but with betaine and hydroprime, then it works really well. Now, what was the experience like? Let's talk through it in a few different ways. So I've taken this probably 8 times. I bought it 3 weeks ago, and I'm one that rarely takes a Stim Junkie pre-workout more than once. But I'll tell you why I took this multiple times. This is not a Stim Junkie pre-workout which you take and then you feel the effects 5 hours later. I've had almost no negatives from this. If you go a little bit too ham and you've got a really long day, sometimes if I take this at 5 a.m. before work and then work goes till 6 p.m., I'm going to be quite fatigued at the end. But that's not to me necessarily the DMHA or the caffeine. It might just be the, damn man, you just had a fucking long ass day. Let's start with pumps. This is one of the best non-pump formula pre-workouts that I've ever had. I get nasty pumps, like almost painful. The gentleman that sold me this, his go-to mix, from what I understand, is he takes hybrid with Apollo Nutrition's Bloodsport. Bloodsport is stacked to the fucking brim. I don't know if he does half a scoop of Bloodsport or not, or maybe a full scoop. I honestly don't think I'd be able to handle that much pump. I think it would either upset my stomach or it would become too painful. I'm quite sensitive to the pump formulas personally. But the pumps are full, tight, watery, they're just dirty, dirty pumps. Now, pumps were spot on. The energy, spot on as well. One thing I was worried about when seeing, 150 milligrams of theobromine combined with 400 milligrams of caffeine and hydrous plus 2-amino plus N-phenyldimethylene is that it would be too much for me. I'm not a big caffeine guy. I'm the type of guy, I actually prefer to go to work with no caffeine. I only typically take caffeine in a social situation or if it's for pre-workout. It gets me a bit jittery and a bit, not anxious, but just uncomfortable feeling. This teeters to that level, but doesn't get there, which is a big plus. You get 25 servings, and honestly speaking, you actually don't really need to use a heaped scoop, which is if you are going to get a full 14.76 grams, it's a heaped scoop, not a flat scoop. So realistically speaking, you could get 30, 35 servings from this. Take 3/4, 4/5, whatever it is that you find. For me, I actually prefer it just a little bit under the level scoop. I don't know how many grams exactly that was. I think it was 11.5 grams. It was perfect for me. So I can get over 30 servings from that. So energy was really good. Full serving, I don't typically like just because it's a bit too much for me. I'm not a big Stim Junkie type of fella. Let's get to the 2 highlights. And I know you probably, if you're watching this, you're thinking if this pump is that good and the energy is that good, how is it that that's not the highlight? Well, you don't buy, to me, a Stim Junkie pre-workout necessarily for energy or for the pumps. I'm not saying they're not important, but you can get high energy without, having frowned upon stims, I guess. But this has one of the most beautiful, happy, focused feelings I've had in a long time. What I would compare this to is if anyone's ever taken pre-phase KO, the original one, man, it's similar to that. Pre-phase KO was a little bit stronger in the focus because that was just laser tunnel focus and dirty performance. But there was a bit of a backfire in terms of you'd really feel it afterwards. But the focus in this is so happy. It's one of those where you take it and you could be having a shitty day and they'll turn it around. But it's not so happy that you feel like it's a party drug of sorts. I've never tried any party drugs, but I would assume that maybe that's what it would be comparable to for some, but it's a happy get shit done pre-workout. On top of that, what I think is the best factor of this is the consistency of it. When I bought it, the gentleman said to me, he goes, it feels like it's one of those pre-workouts that gets better the more you take it, which is something that I was like, all right, I personally didn't believe it. I've tried, probably 25, 30 different, high stim pre-workouts in my good old 10 years of taking these, if not longer. And they always tend to be good at the start and then get worse and worse. This literally got better every time I've taken it. I've enjoyed it more and more every time. I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but it hits perfect every time. You don't need to worry about adding anything else with this. It covers the nootropic element, the focus, the zone in tunnel vision, the happiness, etc. So you don't need that. It covers the pump. To me, you'd be silly to put anything extra if you're like a hardcore bodybuilder type. I get it. It covers energy, it covers consistency, it covers flavor. Look, you can see how fucking low this production is. I'm filming this on my phone. I don't have any coupons. I don't have nothing. I only speak from the shit that I buy. It's either given to me by a store, not a company, or I buy it. This was $100. I bought it myself. This is as good of a Stim Junkie pre-workout as I've probably ever had. It's basically perfect. If somebody would ask me right now if I can buy one pre-workout that's strong and consistent and covers every field, what would it be? I think I couldn't recommend anything above this. I just couldn't. I'm always honest with you guys. I've got no fucking, skin in the game. It's all irrelevant to me. I'm losing money from this channel, just by buying these and reviewing them. But this is as good as it gets. I would recommend any flavor. Apparently they're all really good. I've tried two. The gentleman that sold it to me, he said they're all good. And then every review I've seen, the watermelon flavor is good, the candy flavor is good. Yeah, I really don't have much more to say. It's just, this is one you should give a try to. Who would I recommend this for? Don't take this if you're new. If you're a little bit more experienced, take this at 3/4 scoop, see how you go with it. That might be more than enough. 275, let's just say, caffeine, some DMHA, you'll probably feel really good. If you're an experienced user of pre-workouts, especially the high stim ones, try the full serving. You'll probably love it, man. I know I did. If you've got any questions about this, feel free to ask. That's me signing off. Peace.